Oh, hello, hello. This is Tuesday. This is Sherry from Creating Cards with Sherry. And this is my Tickle Tuesday video. I'm so excited to share with you some new products. Welcome to the new annual catalog. You can now look in it and get a hold of it yourself. Today I'm going to be using the Cheerful Daisies Suite. Or they call it, I'm sorry, there's two pages here. They call it Fresh as a Daisy Suite. Okay. And I'm going to show you the designer series paper and the embellishments and stamps and dies that all come in that suite. I am really excited about it. Now, as you know, our in colors, well, you don't know, our in colors are all in this suite. So you have your boho blue, your copper clay, your wild wheat, your path pebble pathway, I think is the way it is, or pathway pebble or something like that. I have to look it up because I'm not quite sure. And moody mauve. Let's see, let me look at it here. Pebbled path is what it's called. All right. Now they threw in another color with it called our peacock, pretty peacock. This was a returning color that came that everybody couldn't wait to have back again. They just loved it so much and had asked for it to be returned. So I'm going to show you the designer series paper real quick. The backs you saw are all the in colors and just that color. But the front, of course, has different patterns. Now this is just what's the word I'm looking for? A collage, I guess you could say, of different prints that you can use. I actually used one sheet of this for today's presentation, and I'll show you what I did. All right. I call this the bumblebee paper. It just reminds me of bumblebees with all these colors like this. But this is another piece to that set. Then we have one that's more of the moody maud and the wild wheat. And then we have the copper clay and the boho blue. Isn't that pretty? I just love these. I think they are so gorgeous. And then we have this one, and that one's got the green in it too. Now, and then one more. Here we go with the copper clay and the wild wheat and the peacock. All right. Now, when you get your designer series paper, it all comes in a pack and on the back is the just the board that holds it together, or the paper that is a little stiffer holds it together, and it will tell you all the colors that are in here. And so Fresh as a Daisy Designer Series paper has the Azure Afternoon, the Boho Blue, the Bubble Bath, which is the pink that we saw, Cajun Craze, Copper Clay, Crushed Curry, Early Espresso, Garden Green, Lemon Lolly, Moody Mauve, Pebbled Path, Pretty Peacock, and Wild Wheat. So it's not just the in colors, but it has all those other colors involved in it. So when you make your cards and you're going, man, what can I do to combine these? You just follow all that in the back and say, oh, I can use these colors. And it will all blend together and make a beautiful card for you. All right. Um, Today I am going to use our wild wheat ribbon for my, let's see, my other embellishment. I'm going to make two cards today. The other embellishment is going to be our adhesive backed solid gems. I'm going to use the copper clay. We're going to use the copper clay for the card base. And I got to move this stuff here so I can show you. And the wild wheat as the other card base for them doing. All right. Oops, I just dropped one of my pieces. Let me get it real quick. The stamp set that we're using is the Cheerful Daisies, it also comes with the die set, so you can get the stamp set and the dies as a bundle if you want to. And of course, when you get the bundle, you get 10% off. So that's what the dies look like. I used these 3 sets of dies today for my presentation. And I used the stamp wishing you the brightest birthday. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start with this one because if I don't, I'm afraid I'm going to lose everything. There's little pieces to it, and I don't want to lose it. All right, so this is your base card at 5.5 by 4.25. Or I'm sorry, yeah, no, 5.5 by 8.5. There we go. And it's scored at 4.25. All right, and then I have 5.25 by 4 for my inside. So I'm going to go ahead and put the inside in right away. And you don't always have to have an inside to it. Oh, I just ran out of glue, wouldn't you know? Okay, as I was saying, you don't always have to put an inside in it. If your color is light enough to write on, you can use that to put your message on. But if you prefer, you can always put a basic white inside for your message to go on. And the other thing that's real nice about this using the white is you can always print or stamp on, like I could take any of these flowers and stamp a flower in the corner and dress it up. Okay. Now, what I did is I told you that I used this sheet for my cards today, and I cut all of these pieces out and made them the size of the to fit the card. Okay. So I'm going to show you what you can do with your die cuts and your DSP or your designer series paper because it really is very simple. All right. Um, the one piece that comes off that paper is the peacock blue with the wild wheat leaves. And so I cut that out and I'm going to use this as my top layer on my card. And this would be, I believe I measured them all at 5.25 by 4. So that will fit just perfect on your card. Okay, then what I want, oh, you know what? I forgot to do something. I knew I would forget this stuff. I do this so often. All right, what we want to do is I want to put a ribbon on here. So I'm just going to tuck my ribbon back here. And I'm going to see if I can get this side up now so I can put the other end on there. So if you're going to do this, make sure you put your ribbon on first before you lay that top layer down. So you have that. Then these are the pieces that I cut out. These are tricky to line up here, and I don't know what the trick is yet to know exactly how they lay on top of each other. That's something I've got to figure out. But I decided to make them 2 different colors than one color. I've seen some people um, do them all white, and it looks pretty. It's nice, but I wanted the contrast. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in here. And I'm going to stick that. I used our multi-purpose liquid glue for that. And I'm going to stick this one on here too now. I don't know. I moved this so my flower's not lined up the way it should be. So let me see. Oh, I think I got it there. Put a couple dots of glue on some ends. You don't need much. You don't want much, otherwise it's going to squeeze out all over the place and it will be hard to clean up. You'll have glue running everywhere. So there's one. And then I have one more. Oops, now there I have a little too much glue, I can tell. And we're going to line that up right there. And then what I want to do, I'm just going to put some here since I had to lift up that paper. Now it's kind of curled. So I want to make sure that it's not tight. It just because I had removed it, it does that. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dimensionals and we are going to cut some strips off of my old set to use up that border. I don't want to waste this, um, waste all of this extra dimensional that can be used. Okay. And then I'm going to take my flowers and start to put them on. Starting to take shape already. Looking pretty nice. And there you go. Then I took, that's sticky on the back of here. Okay. I took the die cut that cuts out your tagline or your tag so that you can print your sentiment on it. And I used the peacock, the pretty peacock ink to put this together. So I'm going to lay this right across and put that down. Now, isn't that easy? Nice and simple, and it looks very pretty. And so that is something that you can do with the DSP. Like I said, I just cut out the image or the square or whatever you want to call it and put it on top of my card. Use the die cuts for my flowers and for my tag. And there it is. Okay. Then another one that I did is this one is nothing fancy at all. It's going to go really fast and easy, just like the other one. In fact, it'll go even faster. This is the copper clay piece of paper. Again, it's 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4.25. I'm going to take my 5.25 by 4 piece to put on the inside for my message. Do that the best I can. Then the piece that I took out of the DSP was this one, and it had the real chocolate color in there. So I took our early espresso paper and I cut that at 4.25 by, I'm sorry, 5.25 by 4. And I'm going to use that as my middle layer on the top, or my first layer, you could say, and then my second layer is going to be the DSP, or the designer series paper. And I'm just gonna center that as well as I can on that early espresso piece. Then I'm going to take the tagline and put my, why do I keep calling it a tagline? I'm going to take my tag that has my little sentiment on it and put that right in front here, like so. And then I'm going to grab my adhesives, and I need my take your pick tool. Whoop. I'm just going to put some of my adhesive back to gems on it, just to give it a little more pizzazz. And there you go. That's it. That's all you have to do is just put that paper on, put your sentiment on, and add an embellishment, and you're all done. And if you want to work at a little harder and use the die cuts, you can do that. I hope to do some more using this set, and maybe next or on Sunday I can actually use the stamps and put together some cards with that. But there you go. There's our two cards. Very simple to do, just with just the DSP paper and the die cuts. You have a wonderful Tuesday. I will see you again on Simple Sunday. Thanks. Bye bye.